Hello there, and today I will be ranking all the four MonsterVerse movies from the worst to the best. So yeah, Godzilla vs Kong recently was released recently, and with that we have four MonsterVerse movies finally. Well, I don't think this is the end of the franchise. However, there is no movie still scheduled out to come after Godzilla vs Kong from the MonsterVerse. But I think there should be at least one more film in the MonsterVerse, but let's see what happens. It all depends on how good box office Godzilla vs Kong performs. But as of now, there's no movie scheduled to come out after Godzilla vs Kong into Legendary and Warner Brothers MonsterVerse. Are they falling apart? Might be. Who knows? Only time will tell. But as of now, we have four MonsterVerse movies, which are Godzilla 2014, Kong Skull Island 2017, Godzilla King of the Monsters released in 2019, and Godzilla vs Kong from 2021. And this was, of course, the big movie they were planning to make. So with that said, we finally have four MonsterVerse movies, so let's rank them all. Number 4, that's where I have Godzilla 2014. I mean, see, I know a lot of you liked it so much, but I don't. It just doesn't work out for me like that. It's just a boring film for me. At least I really enjoyed it during the first half, but then the second half just went too far. The final battle between Godzilla and the Mutos was just bad, really bad. Like something, anything was barely visible in it. There were no colors at all. The only good thing about this movie is that it stands out from rest of the Godzilla movies because it shows how the people were suffering from the Godzilla attacks and how they were living in fear. However, the other two Godzilla movies, that is Godzilla King of the Monsters and Godzilla vs Kong, really depend on science to carry the story forward, and audience do not really know that much science. So this movie is more easily understandable. Number 3, Godzilla King of the Monsters. Well, I know. I mean, I like all the top three films in this list. The only one that I am mediocre about is Godzilla 2014. I even like Godzilla King of the Monsters, but the big problem with this film is that yeah, it has made some silly mistakes, like that the plot twist where that Emma Russell just says that she's with the terrorist and she also planned all this. That was too silly. I mean, you can't go that silly. I mean, yeah, these are monster movies, so monsters need to be silly, and they were. But whatever the human characters were doing, that was extremely silly, and that should not have happened. But the action sequences of this film are just epic. They are beyond epic. The scale is the best in the entire MonsterVerse. Really, the scale of the action sequence, the scope is just so huge. Even in front of Godzilla vs Kong, I would prefer the scale of this movie is really big. I'm not saying it has better action sequences, but the scale is truly big. Number 2, Kong Skull Island. Well, this one really stood out for me because I really loved this one, and it's very close for me between the first and second spot. And I think I went with Kong Skull Island at number 2. Well, because I think it was pretty fantastic with the way it was shown and the way it went forward. I think it had some similarities with Jurassic World, which was released back in 2015. But overall, I think it was a great film. It has some great action sequences and auspiciously great visual effects, which I really enjoyed to watch, and a good story, good emotions at the end of the film. So I overall preferred this one more than Godzilla King of the Monsters by a small margin, and a bit less than Godzilla vs Kong by a small margin. And yeah, of course, the skull crawlers are not really not really make a good villain. They are the worst in the MonsterVerse, in fact, in terms of how bad the villain was. Number 1 is Godzilla vs Kong. Well, this was a big movie they have been building towards since 2014, whenever they planned to make this MonsterVerse, and it was worth it. The audiences were so excited about Godzilla fighting King Kong after the second time. The first time they fought was in an old movie, which I haven't watched, of course, in that Kong 1. And they decided to make it again, this time with Warner Brothers, and I think they nailed it. They really nailed it. It was such a crazy film, such an action blockbuster. Everyone would like to watch it in a theater. It was a great big screen experience with the best visual effects in the entire MonsterVerse, and one of my favorite monster movies of all time. I just had a crazy fun with this movie. I have a complaint about this movie, that it was too small, and the epilogue of this was not satisfying. It needs to carry forward, and I don't think the epilogue satisfied me, because of course it was too short, and the epilogue was also too short. Not a lot of character development in this film, and the human characters were truly trash. But I was there for the monster action, and they gave me it. So that's it. Like, share, and subscribe Finvilla, and share your own thoughts in the comment section down below. I would really love to see your list.